Hey, welcome back to another episode of Women Are So Fucking Cool. Yay. I am Joanne Morton and I am your host. And this podcast is all about celebrating the cool women we know in our lives. So if you know a cool woman, or if you are an FCW and would like to come on the podcast, please check out the link below and send me your information. But today I am talking to Melanie Baron. I was introduced to Melanie through FCW friend Cherokee, Becca Vargas, and they were both in a book. And so they were in this workshop together and they were both writing their books and they were just amazing fucking cool in the book. And so Melanie agreed to be on the podcast, and she's from Germany. So she's the first woman across the Atlantic Ocean for this podcast, which is kind of exciting. And the other part that I really enjoyed is she is a Mary Magdalene expert. And Mary Magdalene definitely was a fucking cool woman. And I have been reading about her and learning about her a little bit, but I'm even more intrigued by her. And I think you will be too, with this conversation that I have with Melanie. So here, let's go. We're here to talk about fucking cool women. So I would love to hear your definition of what an FCW is.
Yeah, I think we just talked a little bit before, and I mean the main point for me to start with, there are many, but to start with is courage. I think that a fucking cool woman needs a lot of courage. She needs to come out of her comfort zone. She needs to be kind of a rebel, no matter which time in history, which age. We are going to talk about that. And she needs to stand out and do whatever she feels to do, where her mission brings her, where her deeper sense, where her divine guidance brings her. And if she feels that, if she's really guided, she will not stop. She will just do it. And she has to do it. There is no choice. The soul is leading you, and you have to do it. And this makes the difference. We have a little bit of a different explanation of cool in German. Cool is not so much like smart and tough. The cool, what we are talking about here, is courageous and is full of passion, of compassion, of love, of going for it. This is for me a fucking cool woman, not a tough woman who follows the male rules.
Oh, I love that. I love that interpretation. I had no idea of that definition for cool in German. How would you say fucking cool woman in German?
Well,
That's a
I think
way.
we wouldn't. I think we wouldn't.
You would say fucking
We're
cool woman.
not really. It's true. Apart in UK, maybe because of the English language, and in the States, you're using much more swear words like that.
Yeah,
It always depends in which circles you are, whether you are with friends
interesting.
or in public, or uh, we would say really cool or really tough or really courageous. And I find it ever so exciting because we're going to talk about Mary Magdalene, and to bring her together with this name of fucking cool woman is
Yeah,
quite a thing.
I love it. I love it. And okay,
Yeah.
I guess I want to ask you something too, because I asked, so what inspired you to want to say yes to being on a podcast where we're going to talk about fucking cool women?
Oh, what inspired me? I'm curious. I love the subject. I'm so happy about having published this chapter in our first anthology there. And if somebody's interested in, I love to talk about it, and I wanna share it because I'm on a mission. I'm on a path, and if people can hear it, if women can share it, if it's beautiful. So I'm very grateful for being invited.
Yeah, and I think you just spoke, you just kind of embodied every single thing you said about the definition of an FCW. So you are you're walking your talk because you are courageous. You are listening to your mission, and you
Yes.
are stepping out and sharing, what needs to be shared from, messages that you have for us. And I'm also, going back to how you described it, what an FCW is. I also kind of curious how the women's, the collective of women, being with other women who are embodying that. How does that inspire us to be what we need to be?
Well, I have studied education, and I came through in the 80s. I went through the women's health movement. I always was with alternative women, with cool women who were walking another trail than just the normal medicine, normal gynecology, normal contraception modes. So I was always in this field. And I was always, when I was very young, I was always admiring those teachers and writers, those who wrote about matriarchal things, her story, that came up very strongly in the 80s and 90s. So that was my introduction. I in a way, I didn't say it and I didn't even think about it, but I wanted to become like that. I wanted to teach. I wanted to bring out things. And in terms of speaking to other women, I think, I mean, here in Germany, I think is even more difficult than in the States, because I feel like there is a big field. It's very difficult to reach them and to encourage them, to help them moving, to help them find their trail and live it. And there is also for me, there has been a very old stigma in it, which we all know, or many women know, is this standing out to tell the truth. I mean, this is something which is not easy. When I was writing this chapter in the book, or now I'm writing a full book, I already think about, okay, my name is going to stand there, and I'm going to stand for what I'm writing, and there are many people who won't like it.
Oh,
So to stand out for it, to stand, to speak your truth, to speak the truth of your soul, to speak the truth of the masters, of the guides, uh, to stand for the divine feminine.
yeah,
Even nowadays, it is the same like in the Middle Age, and it's the same as the time of Mary Magdalene 2000 years ago.
yeah, 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 definitely. So I know I'm really fascinated about the feminist movement, the women's movement, in Germany, in the different parts of Germany, like, because we're similar in age, and I do remember the 80s and this late 70s, and I had I was following the women's movement a little bit. My mother wasn't super active in it, but it wasn't until I went to college that I got to understand my feminism. But yeah, we don't know. I don't know much. I apologize. I don't know much about the German history of the women's movement.
Oh, oh no, I wouldn't know about the American one, so don't worry about that. I'm just saying this was, the more I look back, I mean, you can feel it yourself. The older we get, or the more wise we get, the more we look
Uh-huh.
back, you can see the red thread going through,
Yeah.
and recognizing, wow, I was in this movement, and I was doing the PR work for inviting fucking cool women without knowing what I was doing, and having conferences with them and listening to writers who just published books. So yes, this is what formed me. I was, when I was younger, I was fighting a lot, and of course you're going for feminist trails, and you fight for your rights, and you fight for another medicine, and you fight for whatever politics, missiles, anti-war, name it. But the more I think about it, I think we are moving in waves, and it has to come. It had to come. These 2,000 years of patriarchal structures, of losing our values, of not having role models anymore, we lost all that,
Yeah.
and most women still don't have it. They start a little bit of knowing one or the other goddess, or to re re to discover again the role models, the qualities of strong women, of sensitive women, of magical women, creative women. But it's slow, and it has to move. It's like a big wave, it will
Yeah.
come with. And this time I'm persuaded, I mean, this is not new, I didn't invent it, but I'm persuaded that it's not going to, the wave is not going to roll back into matriarchal structures. It has to be a synchronicity, or it has to be a balance between male and female.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what we are moving into, and the divine feminine is now coming up to kind of balance the disbalance we had, and it takes time.
Ding, 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 ding. It takes time.
Yes.
It takes time. That is the age old. It just takes time. Much as now that we're in this instant, it still takes time.
Yes, and patience.
Yeah,
is one of the main female qualities which we need to learn again.
I know.
Patience and surrendering to the gods. So,
I know.
we're learning.
So tell me about some women that you think are fucking cool.
I was, as I said, I had little role models, little in terms of writers who wrote good books in German or in America or whatever. But when I started to be more in contact with Mary Magdalene, it was a guided thing. I didn't intend it. I didn't come out of a religious background. I was more or less more pagan than anything before. I was on a spiritual background, but not on a Christian or religious background. So I worked a lot with shamanic teachers from Hawaii, from Mexico, from Peru. So it was quite surprising ending up there in 2016, which I'm writing in the book, where I got this very strong contact with her, and she started to guide me. And I was the more I understood her message, and the more I understood what she really tries to bring into this world through various women who are channeling her or writing about her, or through the whole movement about Mary Magdalene at the moment, it's it the more she became my role model. I mean, she did. I realized, I wasn't aware of it, but I realized that she was doing everything which I was moving into. She was a healer, she was a teacher, she was preaching. Well, I'm not preaching, but I'm teaching a lot, or I was. She knew about essential oils, about herbs, about energetical healing. She talked to the angels. She stood out and spoke. She was even arrested, to put to prison. So she was a rebellion, and so if I look to everything which happened in my life, I think she would probably be the most important FCW I know. And funny enough, another one I keep thinking about, I don't know whether you know her so much, it's also religious, and it is surprising for me because, I mean, I could name White Buffalo Woman or something like that. Yeah, she's a spiritual role model for me, but there's also this nun, which is called Hildegard von Bingen. I don't know whether you've heard about it. She is also very rebellious in the religious life, and she was an incredible mystic and healer and magician within the religion. So she wrote big books about healing and plant medicine and theater and art and painting and music. It's incredible. So yes, in a way, I think I cannot separate it from a kind of a spiritual path.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, Mary Magdalene is like, it's just such a fascinating character. I mean, person, and for her to have so much influence in, in the time period that she was in, and then just sort of be just set aside for a while.
Yeah.
So tell me about this Mary Magdalene resurgence. Like you were saying that more people are talking about her.
Yes, I mean, the story is that she had to leave, or she was followed, or I don't know, but nobody knows really, but she left the country. She left her home. She went through Egypt and other Eastern countries, and then the legend goes, or the story goes, that she came by boat to the shores of the south of France,
Right.
or even maybe to Italy before, but through the Mediterranean onto the other side. And in the south of France, in Provence and in Camargue, the legend of her, the legacy of her, is celebrated very strongly, very intensely. Um, there are places and churches where her relics are. There's one church where even you can see the skull. Of course, they never proved whether it's hers, but yes, it's like all those things. They had never access to it to do it properly, and but it doesn't matter. I mean, it is not. It's not the bones. It's the spirit there,
Right.
and she lived in a cave for many years. There's several legends about, some are wrong, some are right, and the church has always tried to put her as a grieving lost woman who was hanging around in a cave and being lost there and being forgotten and uh, being a bit crazy or whatever. In reality, she was bringing the word of Jesus. She was the one who was uh, in very close contact with him, however you want to call that. And she got all the information. She was giving me a lot of transmissions where she's talking about how they communicated, not only by words. He kind of I don't know, she sucked it in, what he told her, and she knew that it's going to be a big mission. She was afraid. She didn't know whether she could bear it and hold it, but she brought the message of love. She brought the message of compassion, and she brought the core message of Jesus, which has nothing to do with the church, which has been built later on. I mean, there was this dispute going on between the apostles, the disciples of with her and the male disciples, and one line was to build the church and to build the temples and those buildings and everything we know now by the classical church, and the other path was her and some friends, some followers, and some students later on who followed her, and she went all the way through the south of France, then to Spain, to Catalonia. There's many proofs of that, where she was, where they built churches and chapels. So she kind of covered the whole area. If you want, she brought the original Christianity to Europe.
Yeah.
Without her, we wouldn't have that. And later on there were people like the Catars in south of France, who followed her secrets and who followed her message and continued to hold that. And what she's always talking about now in transmissions and meditations and channelings is that really she sees the times which we have now as very much like her times, because it was a dominant patriarchal system. They were nearly killed for what they did. They were pursued. They were ridiculized. They were accused. They were really in a difficult situation. They had to meet in secret, in homes of families or caves in nature. And they couldn't speak out the truth because the system was completely telling other things. And she told me one sentence, and that sentence really cracked me, because she said, "Do you really think your life is difficult? If I could do it, you can do it." And then you don't say nothing anymore,
Yeah.
Finish. And
Yeah.
it was the same thing. It needed people, it needed women, not the men, because the men went the other trail, they went the other side. It needed women who spoke the truth, who spoke about love, who spoke about forgiveness, about all the qualities of the goddesses. They needed to spread it, to teach it, to get it out, the message of the divine feminine, because in a way Jesus was preaching about the divine feminine.
Yes.
He was waking up the women who were following him. He let them speak, he let them be around them, so he gave them space to be, to expand.
Yeah. It's so true. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
It
this
is
is why the same thing happening now. If we don't do it, who is going to do it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah. So true. So true. Yeah, I so fascinated. It's just so fascinating how humanity's history does repeat and unfold, and and that's why it's so important to be mindful of our actions and to understand, past actions. But um, I'm also seeing so much correlation with her message and her life of the FCW societies respect, encourage, and celebrate. I mean, when you're
Yes.
telling me her whole story, I just imagine her meeting new people and, because she respects people and encouraging people. Yeah. I'd love to hear your insight on how you think you and Mary Magdalene embodies the FCW's values.
Well, I think respect is one thing, and the other thing is to not to criticize, not to judge, because you cannot love another person. I mean, Jesus was teaching that, and she was repeating it. He was never going against people who were different, who
Yeah.
had a different opinion, who were standing out by a disease or by some sort of social caste or whatever. He was bringing them all in, because if you really go your trail of the heart, if you follow your heart, if you follow your soul, you cannot say, well, love includes that one, but that one doesn't. You cannot, because unity, you cannot say we all talk about unity, but the neighbor is not part of the unity because I don't like him.
Yeah.
So you are in respect. And if you read the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which has been found meanwhile, but there's many pages missing. But one of the main parts, how it starts, is everything is connected. And I mean, we have heard that many times, and it comes from the indigenous people and from many different sources, but it is also in her gospel, how we are all connected with nature, with other people, with animals, with plants, with crystals, with the stars. So if I have this basic understanding, so how can I not respect? It's not possible. It's controversial.
Yeah. Yeah. So encourage and celebrate. What are your thoughts on those two words?
Well, courage is what I talked about at the beginning. I think this is my major task.
Encourage.
Huh?
Encoura. So encourage you.
What do you mean?
Encourage.
To get off of courage?
Yeah. So ENCOU. So EN courage. Encourage. Encouragement.
Yeah.
Was that, were you talking about encourage, or were you saying courage?
Oh, I know. I was talking about courage.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It's okay.
ask me again.
Okay.
Ask me again. So, that is a language
Because I know my
problem there.
language, and I'm not
No,
yet.
it's my language problem there.
No, we're hundreds of miles away. This is amazing still that we're doing this, right? Okay. Okay, let's go. So, how do the words encourage and celebrate also align with Mary Magdalene's mission as well as your mission?
Yes, but I don't understand the question, but because she's not encouraging, or you mean giving others courage, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. So we were talking about the same thing, it's just different.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Well, her, and also in my work at the moment, it's encouraging has to do with waking up and helping to become aware. Because I mean, there's so much misunderstanding in qualities, in female qualities. If you talk about, for example, devotion or surrendering, 90% of the women, especially here in Europe, they are misunderstanding it. So you need to encourage them to 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 try to go through their intuition, through their right half of the brain, through their creativity. They can do it. They always did it, but they don't dare to do it.
Uh-huh.
They are mental. They're trying to, for example, writing a book. We were talking about this many times with the other ladies from our book. It's not about having a plan and having many papers prepared and many concepts in your drawer. It's about how you're going to be guided, how you are bringing out what you really have to say. And I think women are very close to it. They are at the edge of bringing their stuff out, but they need people like us maybe to help them to step in the next level, because it has a lot to do with fear of stepping out where they are. What are the others going to say? What is my husband going to say? What is society going to say? Uh, can I dare to do that? Am I losing my job? Well, you see what is going on in your country at the moment. Yeah, if I'm saying this, if I'm doing this, am I getting deported? I mean, so yeah, I think to live the divine feminine, it needs to accompany people, to women, to be at their side, to give them a hand, to be there and say, do it, go for it. You like Mary Magdalene said, if I could do it, you can do it.
Right. And
So
celebrate each other, you know?
celebrate, yeah, but that goes hand, all what you're asking is going hand in hand, of course, because if you're respecting and if you're understanding that all is one and all is connected, you're not going to fight against one another. You have to celebrate one another. You have to support one another. You have to network together. If you work with concurrence and competition, all these patriarchal values, non-values, then it won't work. I mean, you're doing the opposite. So yes, celebrate. Also celebrate the ancient circles, like ancient like equinox, or today's solstice. We are celebrating solstice today. So yeah, it's celebrating amongst one another. It's celebrating the goddess, the qualities of the goddess, of the divine feminine, to value them again, and to
Yeah.
celebrate maybe nature and the circles of the stars, of the moon, of the big context.
Yeah. Because it's all one. We're all
Yeah.
one. Unity.
Yes.
It's all one. Wow.
If you really, really understand that all is one, all the rest is a solution anyway. I mean, you don't have to argue about it. It's all connected then.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, so many wonderful things. I needed to hear just what about writing, letting yourself be guided. That was a
Yeah.
really, really good thing to hear. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to have all of your links in the show notes. And everyone's encouraged to go and buy the book, which is called Unleashing the Courageous Feminine: 13 Stories of Strength, Grace, Awakening Through Adversity. Because unfortunately, women have gone through some adversity, but we are stronger for it. And we have each other to move through it together. So we discussed that we thought we could close this episode. What you can say that you're going to read something. So share with us what you're going to do and any last words of wisdom.
Yes. So we agreed that because it's so powerful and I couldn't say it any better, I would love to read the last part of my chapter of the book because it's a message of Mary Magdalene. It's a transmission which came up this year, is recent in winter. So I would like to read this to you if you're okay with that. Thank you. In a morning meditation, Mary Magdalene proclaimed, "To all you wonderful women, healers, wise women, brave women, light workers and teachers, I have come to guide you into a new world. I have reached out to many of you, spreading the message of love and truth. Now you are needed. Now your words will be heard. You choose to be here. Your light is the torch in the dark times. Your wisdom is the red thread to find the way out of the maze of confusion. Your experience is the sacred tool to lead humankind into a radiant future. It has been previewed thousands of years before. This is the moment when consciousness rises and evolution takes place. We are all here to bring love. I am at your side. May peace prevail on earth."
Hi, thanks again for watching. And again, my name is Joanne Morton, and I am the founder of the FCW Society. And I would like to invite you to check out what we do at FCW on our website or go to the links below. And if you know somebody who's an FCW or you are a fucking cool woman and would love to be on the podcast, please definitely fill out the form and I'll be in touch with you. And for everyone else, thank you again and again and again for watching and listening. And if you did enjoy this podcast, please like it, share it with one of your friends, and subscribe. That's right. All right. Until next time, keep being your fucking cool selves.